Good morning all, hope you're doing well. We had a big dump on the technical scores. We're at 16 out of 100 and we're using all these instruments down there. So we can see the VIX really pumped. Apple really fell and Tesla did as well. Dollar also rose and so did the Treasury yields rose as well. Dow Jones and the S&P fell and the Nasdaq fell quite a bit. It's 1% drop. Because of that we had a big dump on the scores. So I'm still looking to buy the dip, but you'll see today won't be the day to buy the dip because the indices are looking quite heavy and it looks like we need a flush. So I'll show you that. QDB scores, just reset this, refresh this even. Dollar Swiss at the top and Euro USD at the bottom. Alright, so that's of note. So, you know, looking for sells, looking for buys. So just make sure you get a good entry. And we know that DIX is quite strong as well. And we were looking at this all week and I said about the trend is up, so you don't really want to fight the trend, and I thought perhaps we were going to get a retest of this box, but we didn't, and it's carrying higher. Still, I think we probably are going to get a test of it. A break of that low at 104, then it's going to change my attitude towards the dollar, but I think at the moment you're looking to be buying the dip, especially in that blue box there. So that's the spreadsheet pretty much. Yeah, that's the spreadsheet. Let's look at your RDP and market scope, FXCM trading station. If it loads, as it does. S&P, sorry, the Dow Jones. So I think what's going to happen is that we might have to see a flush of that low. So we're getting close to being a buy. So a break of that low will cause them to sell, or they'll be less long. So by getting stopped out, there'll be less long, and then we'll get the buy. So I think we need to see a break of this, and then, you know, we're looking to buy the dip. But I'm being careful today because it's not actually guaranteed. First, you want the crossover, and then you want the lower VIX as well. So I think what I might do, I might wait for the technical scores tomorrow, and then we'll. We know that the indices like to rally into the weekend, so that's going to be like a driver for risk on potentially. And it's looking for buy the dip opportunities. Maybe buy New York today, but I might wait till tomorrow, I think, and just be impatient. So we're going to get the buy, but you want other things to, you know, to line up as well, obviously. So S&P. Oops. And yeah, so we might get the buy there. It's the same thing as the Dow Jones. We're probably going to need to break that low. Breaking that low, they should cause them to be less long and more short. And by that then will change the sentiment and will be buy. So you could theoretically just wait for that to break, then look at price action. But it all depends. If they carry on going long, if they've got the same idea as us, like we're looking to buy the dip, that's not going to be so good. So we might see a break, but if they decide to buy it at that break, we'll carry on, all right, and it could get quite ugly. So that's why we want to be checking the sentiment. And DAX, they're going long on DAX. Well, they were about 10 minutes ago, and yeah, so we got the sell. So we can create a box here, pretty much. Yeah, we can. Well, I mean, we could draw a box on that little candle. I don't know if it's worth doing, but we could do it. Such a thin box, it's crazy. There, it's a tiny little resistance. So we should be below this box, okay? Ugh. Okay, somewhere around there. And yeah, but basically them going long, someone has to sell it, and there's a large entity who's going to take the other side of that transaction. When the retail herd go one way, there has to be someone to take the other side of that exchange. So that's why we're probably going to have to be below that box because they've gone long, right? And then gold, and gold was a good trade. Hopefully someone called it, and we had a really good risk to reward. We made a good R, which is your risk multiple, and so because they've sold it, we should be above 1919, like I said in Discord. So be careful here, they might go long, because we're quite close to getting another crossover. So just a quick one there. And the robot, we've deactivated the robot, and I'm going to switch it back on Monday, because what had happened is that it opened a lot of pound Kiwi trades and they weren't to their stop loss, so we have to have a good old rethink about the robot and what pairs it's going to take. And I think what we're going to do on Monday, we're going to be looking at major pairs only, so the dollar, euro USD, the pound USD, the dollar CAD, dollar Swiss, dollar yen, Aussie USD and Kiwi USD, but we won't do minor FX, and we'll also be just looking at technicals only. And then we're going to get some decent results first, and then we're going to add sentiment on top of that. So that's the plan, and we should be ready to go on Monday. I've got a fairly busy weekend, but I'll make sure that we get the robot up and running on its technical criteria checks for Monday. So I mean, at the moment it doesn't really make sense, but what had happened is that the herd had sold AJ, so we got the buy. But it really shouldn't be coming up because the indices are falling, right? So there's something definitely broken on the correlation with yen. So I think with our robot on Monday, we won't be looking at cross yen. We're going to probably ignore it, I think, for some time because things are out of bonk. So like, for example, this should be falling because we know that the indices are falling, right? Unless one of them's lying, of course. And that's today's video. So remember to trade safely, and I'll be back tomorrow with the update on the risk calculation, and it should be by the dip opportunity tomorrow. We'll have to wait and see. All right, so remember to trade safely. I'll speak to you guys soon.